All right, everybody, I know it's been a while, but here is a brand new tutorial for you. We are going to be making this zombie Captain America because, Halloween and whatnot, so that's coming up. Actually, this is probably being released on that day. So here it is, a full tutorial. I haven't done a whole lot of these in a while, so not in a while, but I just haven't done a whole lot in general. So here you go. This is what we're going to be making. I'm going to show you real quick. And that was the final image we're trying to go for here. And so right now there's a bunch of noise going on because there's a heater turning on because, it's getting a little chilly around here. All right, so I tried recording this yesterday and it didn't it didn't sound too good. So I had to come back in because I want some quality stuff. But I also had to do it pretty quick because I wanted to stick on my own personal schedule of being like, hey, I'm going to release it before the end of the month. I know most people will be like, I don't care when you release it, just release it. So anyway, here's the Captain America image. Oh my gosh. Here's the Captain America image. There's more noise from the heater. Thank you to that. So anyway, yeah, we're going to be cutting him out and we're going to be putting him on a different background and of course zombifying him. Oof. Anyway, all right, so let's get the Marquee Tool. Hit M on your keyboard, or you can go up to the little square, square right here. Hit V on your keyboard, or go to the Moves tool. Select that area, drag it on over to our poster here. Size it up a bit. And this is a low quality image. I will try to find a better one, hopefully for you to use. But mine, even from here, you can probably it's not that great looking. And yeah, you zoom in, it doesn't look any better. But that'll be fixed once we start adding all the effects. Duplicate. My goodness, I was trying to be like, okay, let me not mess up saying the word duplicate. Anyway, duplicate the background layer if you want, or you can create a new layer. I just like to do that because it's easier for me. Alrighty then. So select our Captain America layer. We're going to right click on the layer. Go up to convert to smart object. We're going to convert it to a smart object. And then we're going to grab the pen tool. It's right here. Or you can hit P on the keyboard and it'll bring it up. It brings up this thing, which, selects it. We'll get a more precise selection with this. As you can see, the edges here are a bit kind of fuzzy and blurry. So it's going to help not make it so kind of weird in those spots. So in this area, it is going to be sped up. I'm not going to be talking as much because it's kind of boring. Anyway, enjoy the speed up and the tunes. So quick tip as I'm doing this. So you see me as I'm going along it here. I keep going over here to move it around the navigation thing. You don't have to do that. You can hold space bar and then see the little hand comes up and you can move it around. But mine lately has been acting up. So every time I do that, it like freezes what I'm doing. So I try not to do it as much, especially when I'm using the pen tool. I don't know why it does it, but it does. Just a little quick tip there if you want. And it's the reason to those who might do that as to why I'm not doing that. All right, quick little interjection again. So what do you listen to when you do this stuff? I listen to something very kind of fitting to what I'm making. So right now I'm listening to the 28 Days Later theme. It's eerie, it's creepy, it's really good. I like those movies too, by the way. There's some of my favorites. Yeah, what do you tend to listen to while you're making stuff? Or do you like, sometimes I'll put on like a TV show or a movie. I'll put on a TV program because I'm old. By the way, my birthday just passed on the 30th. So yeah, even older. So, as you see now, we have selected Cap. He is outlined in blue dots and a blue line. So, what we do now is we click inside of it, right there. Right click, do not just click in there. Go to make selection. I'm going to do a feather of 0.5. You can do more if you want, but it's just going to, make your edges really soft. So choose wisely. Hit OK. And now you got the little dancing ants around them. And then while you're clicked on the Captain America layer, you're going to go down here to the layer mask. Click it. And there you go. Look. Captain America is no longer on that background. You move him around and whatnot. All right. So there we go. Last time I did this, still there. Look, those little outline spots, which I will probably clean up later. For now, we are going to move on. Okay. So the next layer is to kind of, we're going to adjust the colors and everything in him. So I hit Command-Shift-A. That's going to bring up the camera raw filter settings. If you didn't, if you don't know all the commands, you can go up here to filter, camera raw filter. All right, sorry about that. Okay, and so I'm just gonna make my adjustments. You can do them exactly how I do them, or you can, kind of go about it your way. However you feel comfortable. Every time I go to the camera raw, though, I'm gonna add more green tint to this, just so you know. So the whole point of what I'm doing now, why I'm choosing to color correct it this way, I don't know what you want to call it, but make it this way, is because I want it to be more kind of dark and saturated, and not saturated, desaturated, and just really kind of grungy looking. So, like I said, just however you feel you got to do this, go for it. I'm going to bring down some of the yellows, some of the orange, and then go to the curve, bring in some more green. There we go. We're going to make it a little more dark again. Bring up some of the lighter areas. Good. Alrighty then. I say a lot of weird things. So go to grain or effects. We're going to bring up some grain here. A little bit of the size, roughness, grain. We're going to add a little bit more. All right, so that's kind of the base layer of what I'm doing with the way I want them to look. Now, you see the difference? So, of course, even in the original picture, it's kind of muted, not real bright and colorful. Again, it is a low-quality image. It's a still from a movie, so in the movie, it looks better. And what I did to it was that. Now, what we're going to do, let's close that. We're going to get our zombie face. This will be available in the description below, along with everything else I've used. And we are going to move it over to this. I'm going to bring down the opacity to about 40%. And then I'm going to scale it to size here. Zoom in a bit. So you want it roughly about the same. It is a different angle, so it's not going to match up perfectly. Like I said, just a rough kind of estimate. So like you see the kind of the corner of the mouth of the zombie is like right here, and so the teeth do kind of match up to where it would be, just a little bit over this way maybe. And then so like right here is where he's kind of like got his flesh torn a little bit. And then you're done. That's it. Poster's over. That's a bad joke. Right click on the zombie face layer, turn it into a smart object. You can rename each of your layers so you don't get a zombie mouth. So that way you don't get confused and start, trying to figure out where to go. So we are going to change the blend mode, but first we are going to add a layer mask. We're going to select the layer mask and make sure that it's white, and then we're going to grab a black, or no, we're going to actually, black brush. B on your keyboard, or the brush is over here. Make sure it is a soft brush, which means you don't want it all the way up to 100%. Bring it down to 0. And then we're going to, okay, so I have the flow still way down. It's not what I want. We're going to get rid of all of this because we don't need it. pardon my silence as well. I have, you know, I'm just trying to do this. So looking a little off just because he's like kind of like, that's all. That's, we're just gonna do that because it was looking a little crooked and kind of funny. Like it was going, Anyway, so got this. Oh man, I'm bad at this. Alrighty, that's a Simpsons reference, somewhat. So what I did just there, I duplicated these zombie cap. We can call that cap. And then I took the camera raw settings and moved it over to this one. So that way it somewhat matches it, although it is a little too green. So we're going to go into this. We are going to bring down a lot of the contrast, a lot of the texture down. Because we don't want it matching too much. Not matching too much. I mean, like it's looking a little bit too standouty. Anyway, once we add the kind of skin texture, it'll look better. And plus, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go up here to the normal blend mode. We're gonna go down to overlay, and it looks a little more like blended in, but also it looks kind of like there's like a little bit of red in there, so kind of like he's just bit somebody. But yeah, I mean, you can go in, make all the kind of fine adjustments you want. If you want, you know, a little bit more of this back in there, go for it. You know, I'm gonna say, you know, a lot. Just go with it. And you know, you fine tune it however you want. But for now, we're just gonna leave it. That's the basic idea of what you want this to be. You know what we might also do? We might go up to filter, noise. We're gonna add a little bit of noise. We're Gaussian monochromatic. Yep, 5 is probably perfect. Yep, that looks good. That looks a little more blended. It still is a bit bright for my taste. So I'm gonna go in and adjust that. Again, you don't have to do any of this. I'm just being a little neurotic with it. All right. And now it's too dark. All right, we're gonna leave it where it was. Again, adjust how you want. Nope. So we can do that, or we can just do this. I kind of like that better. Feels a little more natural. Okay, sorry. I just kind of making adjustments here. All right. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to replace his little nose here. So, to do that, we're going to get the skull layer. Actually, which one do I want to use? I will go with the, before I use this one, but it looks a little too clean for me. So we're going to get this one. We're going to grab just the little schnoz part here. Bring it on over. Ah, jeez. Sorry. That frightened me. All right, so we're gonna make the adjustments here and here. Bring this out just a little bit. And you want to find out how I'm doing this? I'm holding down the command key on a Mac. It'll be control on a PC. So, and then you grab one of the corners and you can do that with it. And then each corner you can do and kind of adjust it. All right, so we are also going to make that a smart object. Do basically the same thing that we just did with the mouth, except now we are going to erase, you know, all these outer parts of the nose. And now he's Red Skull. Oh, okay. I can't do it now. Wait a minute. Oh yeah. Okay. So I mean, it looks fine. It's just because of the quality of the Captain America picture, you know, with this over it, it's very sharp and kind of, it stands out a lot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate the mouth layer. We're gonna grab the camera raw settings we have on that one and drag it over. So that way it matches just a tiny bit. Maybe we can drag the noise over as well. Yeah, there we go. Looks a little better, a little more blended in. All right. We can also, no, it's not gonna look good with an overlay because then it's just like a weird spot, but maybe a multiply or darken. Ooh, darken might not be too bad. Well, actually it looks kind of the same as normal. It's the exact same as normal. We'll go multiply. Nah, we're not gonna go with multiply. All right, everything looks a little crazy right now. So we're gonna do, we'll check something here. That does enhance it a little better. I like that. Okay, we're gonna leave that there. We got the nose, we got the mouth. Next, we are going to create the whited out eyes. This is simple. To make your colors black and white, hit D on your keyboard. We're gonna get white in the foreground. We're gonna grab the pen tool again. If I'm going too fast, I apologize. I'm drinking a Red Bull, so I'm all kind of amped up. I was just stuck in traffic, and now I'm like, oh, okay, let's go. All right, so we're gonna select around his eye, basically where his eye is. Right click, make selection, hit OK, and then we're gonna hit Shift F5. It's gonna fill it in. Bam. We're gonna go to the other eye, do the same thing. You can also go fill path. I mean, again, same thing, but it leaves that like kind of the dots. Maybe I can probably delete them off, but I just choose to do it this way because it's easier for me, and it's the way I remember. All right, for some reason this eye right here looks a little goofy. Maybe I should get the eraser tool and I would give it a little more personality, you know. There we go. Somewhat better. There. So we are going to make this a smart object. We're going to add just a tiny bit of Gaussian blur to it. Not that much. We're going to go with 1. And we're going to duplicate that layer. Hey, I'm getting better at it. We're going to select the Gaussian blur layer. We're going to make that 10. Let's go with 12. Hit OK. And it makes it a little more glowy. And we can also duplicate that layer if we want to give even more glow. You can change the blending modes to screen on these two. And then we're going to group all those together. I selected all the layers and I hit Command or Control G on the keyboard. Excuse me. And then we're going to rename it just Eyes. Just about what the Z. Eyes. All right. Next up is the skin. So what I did was I have this grunge kind of texture here. Looks kind of cool because it's got like all the cracks and everything. It looks real dirty. So we're going to get that. We're going to bring it over. It's going to be gigantic here again. I'm going to size it way down. We're going to actually go that way. And that's good right there. And we're done again. We're going to change the blend mode to overlay. And see, that's the kind of look we're going for. I'm actually not liking the crazy horizontal lines on there. Or like the vertical lines right here. Okay. So we're not going to leave it like that. We are going to actually convert this to a smart object. And then we are going to get the pen tool. And we're going to outline any area that is just skin. So we don't want the helmet, we don't want the clothing, we don't want anything other than like where the skin is showing. So that basically means, you know, like here, around the eyes, the ears, and then the neck. Because everything else is kind of covered up with something. We're going to do that. And then we are going to use a mask again. And there we go. And now what we can do, we can just select this layer mask here, get a white brush, and then paint in all the other areas. Before I went and selected each one of them too. It took forever, but we can do it this way. It's a lot easier. Yeah, so then get the eye in the eyes. Jeez, I apologize. So yeah, there we go. And now the skin has got kind of that cracked and worn look. It looks like he's, you know, pretty dead right now. So what we're also going to do with that layer is we are going to go into the camera raw settings again, bring down some of the texture, bring up the clarity. We're going to make it pretty dark. And then we are also going to tint it. I'm going to bring down the saturation. We're going to tint it green like we did before. Add more green because more green means more zombie looking. And there we go. Perfect. All right, and it's also over the mouth and the nose area, so it kind of blends a little bit better. And then again with the eyes, if you want, you can go in, change this top one, hit Command or Control U on your keyboard. Colorize, we're going to darken it, bring up the saturation. You can make it red if you want. His eyes red, glowing red, but I like to make them glowing green, like a neon kind of yellow green. Like that, and then we duplicate that layer as well, and voila, we got the, I said that probably wrong, whatever. You got some green glowing eyes. All right, now what we're going to do, so that's pretty much done. Like, I will say right now, that's pretty much how I would like this to be. But, no. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to add the shadows onto the face really quick. So we're going to get a black solid layer, color fill layer. We're going to clip it to cap here. We're going to make it a black, invert it. So go to the layer, controller command I, or you can go up to select, and right there is inverse, not select. My gosh, right here. Where's it at? It's an edit. My goodness, go to edit. It'll be in here somewhere. It says invert. Is it edit? I don't. But anyway, command I inverts the colors. Jeez, I am bad at this. All right, so now what we're gonna do? We're gonna get a brush tool. We're gonna bring the flow down to about, let's say 20%. And we're just going to kind of color in these areas here just to give a little bit more depth to cap. Because for some reason, the original image, it's really flat. And I don't know why. Again, it is just a screen grab, so maybe it, you know, it's just the way it came out. Just the way it is. Anyway, before I kind of went crazy with this and it was like, ooh, it's too much. But looking just a little bit better. Just trying to darken up some of these areas. Just a little bit more, kind of a, you know, contrasty look to it. Too much. All right. I want to take that last part out, actually. Looks a little weird. So there we go. I mean, I'm going to keep kind of going in and making little micro adjustments just because they're bothering me. But that's the gist of what you want that to look like. So we got pretty much all of that done. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go to the very top layer. We're going to create a new layer. And then we're going to go to the keyboard again. Command, Control on a Mac. It is Command, Option, Shift, E, and it's going to create oh, actually, let's not do that. Let's get rid of the background first, and then we're going to hit those. I see some spots here that I don't like, and I believe it's on here. No. What is this from? It's from this? No. It is from the... Okay. So as I got rid of the background, I could find some of these little areas, whoa, where everything kind of messed up on me. All right, so I got too big of a brush. Because there are multiple layers, I'm going to have to get rid of all this. And that's part of it, you know, you mess up, you get some spots that you forget, and you go back and you correct them. You know what I might do? I might add just a little bit of blur to this guy because I wanted to match too much. Too much again. 1.13, 1.5, does that help? 1.5 looks pretty good. We're going to do the same to the nose, which I didn't name, but this is the nose. Let's name it now. Oh, nose with a Z. That makes sense. We're going to add the same blur. Oh, should go 1 on that one. All right. Add that back. Collapse that. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to this top layer that we've created. Again, on PC, it is Command Option Shift E. I'm on a Mac, so it's Command Option Shift E. I said PC is Control Option Shift E. My goodness. So now, okay, we're gonna group all of this. Zombie cap. Whoa. There we go. So we're going to hide that one. And now we got all of the layers in one. Rather than having to go through and, you know, the way I used to do that before. But anyway, so we're also going to make that a smart object. And again, if you wanted to at this point, if you wanted to like fix up the lines here, like see these kind of sharp random edges, you can clean them up, clean up all these like outlines in this part. You know, do what you need to do. So now the last step, we're gonna get this alleyway because I thought it was kind of fitting, and we're gonna move behind them. We're gonna size it down pretty well here, like that. We're actually gonna bring Cap up in size. He fills out the poster a little more. He's cutting off the shield in his hand, but that's all right. We're going to create that into a smart object. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to get the Marquee Tool. I'm going to select the entire image. I'm going to hit Command or Control J, and then now I have just that. Now I'm going to make it into a smart object, and I'm going to the camera raw filter settings. I'm going to make it darker. Tinted green again. Bring down a lot of the regular natural colors in it. We're going to bring up some of the highlights. Again, we're just making it really contrasty. Having it match, you know, Captain America there. Bring up the greens. We're going to get some grain in here because why not? Do some vignetting. Because again, why not? Hit OK. There we go. See, they match pretty well. Again, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna match basically Cap's. See, look at his shadows right here. This should be all in shadow right now. This is the most shadow he has, and it's not really matching that. So we want those to line up well. Highlights are pretty good because you know they're already there from the sun. All right. So how we're gonna do that? We get a adjustment layer here. We're going to go with a solid color, make sure it's black again, and we are going to clip that to Cap. So in order to do that, see, you got it there, they're just kind of normal. You go in between the two layers here, you hold down Shift or Alt, and on Shift, Alt or Option if you're on an Apple, and click in between them, and then there you go. It's clipped to just the layer below it. You hide that layer, hides all of it. All right, so now we're going to go to the layer mask of the solid color. We're going to invert that color. And then we are going to get a white brush. We're going to bring down the flow to about, let's say 10. And we're going to add a lot of shade to this thing because everything should be almost in complete shadow. We're going to bring up the flow. All right, so again, if I go quiet, it's just because I'm concentrating here. All right, so that's, I mean, decent enough, you know, the before and then after. I mean, you kind of want to just, oops, you know, fix it up wherever you can. Again, it is in a different environment. So if you have seen my, you know, my Daredevil and Spider-Man poster, this is why, like, because I said, okay, we're putting them in different environments. Let's make it match, you know, pretty well. So this is looking a lot better. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the highlights. Again, adjustment layer, solid color. This time we're gonna go white, hit OK, same steps. Clip that there, invert the mask. Now we're gonna get another white brush and then the flow down again. We're gonna hit these highlights because, again, this one's already, you know, done a pretty good job of it, so we're not gonna go crazy with it. And tip of the ear here and the very top of the helmet. And then here on the shield. Reflecting a little bit here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change that to an overlay. You can tell the difference. I'm also going to add a little bit more there. We want any there, okay. And now we are going to add another solid color, another white layer. Hit OK. This time we are not going to clip it to cap. So we're just going to invert the mask. We're going to get another brush, and we're going to bring the flow of this way down. So we want a white brush. And then we're going to add pretty much a glow coming off of him that's not, you know, attached to him. But we have to clean it up some because it's a little bit crazy in some spots. Right here is a little bit too much. So there you go. I mean, it's optional if you want to do it. You can also bring down the opacity quite a bit so it's not crazy. You can change it to screen. Let's go down to 65 for the opacity. But it does add a little bit of extra effect to it. On this layer, on the star, I wanted to add more kind of, and then same thing here. We can just add just a little bit of an outside glow just hitting off of that. All right, so next, actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the Captain America layer here. Call him Z-Cap. We're going to create a new layer so it's already kind of clipped to it. You don't have to worry about that. We're going to get the brush tool. We're going to change our foreground color to a dark red. Hit OK. And you can use the exact one. I can just, you know, don't go too bright or too dark. Otherwise, it's just going to look, it's not going to be there. So then I will hopefully have these brushes, if I can find them. If not, I mean, you can go to, like, you know, any kind of place to get Photoshop brushes for free. Just look up blood or paint splatters, whichever one you want to use, and then just download them, start using them. So I'm going to get some of these, what are supposed to be blood splatters, and I'm going to, okay, the flow is way down. I completely forgot about that. Oh, that's my bad. All right, so now it looks a little plain. So we're gonna go to the blend mode. We're gonna go overlay, And there we go. It looks better now. You can put it on top of the shadows and the highlights if you want, but it looks a little off. So maybe there's that one layer. And we're going to create another one. Get another blood brush here. I don't know what these are exactly. I'm just kind of guessing. Same thing. Overlay. And now we're going to get one more for up here. These things used to have like previews, but now it just looks like this. Maybe I can change it. I don't know. I mean, I probably can. Somebody probably, oh, you gotta do this and that, and you don't know Photoshop. It's like, all right, chill out, bro. Sorry. All right, so gonna find one that looks pretty good. All right, we'll go with this one. I'm actually gonna do that. Then I'm going to flip it around. Hit OK. I'm going to change it to overlay. And this one I am going to take off quite a bit of it. That looks pretty good. Sorry for the silence again. I'm just trying to make my adjustments here. So the blood splats look a little too clean. We're going to add just a tiny bit of blur to them again. One should be fine. So that we can make them smart objects, so that way we can go in, we can adjust them how we need them to be adjusted, if we need to adjust them. So without the blur, and with it. So that is the basis. Okay, so from now, I'm not done. We're gonna adjust this base layer of Captain America. We're gonna add just a little bit more green. We're gonna bring down some of that. We're gonna tint it some more green. Bring up the highlights, whites. We're even gonna bring up the shadows a bit. Bring down some of the texture. Bring up the clarity to dehaze it. Okay. So this layer, again, you can also just bring down the shadows if you want, reveal a little bit more. We'll go with 90. The highlights look okay. Oh, no. Oh, don't like. Sorry. Highlights look all right. Good. So now, well, the background, let's make it a little blurry, shall we? More than that. 5 is good. So that we get some depth of field here. And that's the basics of it. You know, you can go up, you can add an adjustment layer here. Darken a little more, bring up. I always make mine like that to be a little more softer. It's just a preference I have. You can edit this now however you want. Go crazy with it. I also made a title for it. You'll see that now. If you want me to kind of do that. I also made an alternate version. This is the first one I made actually with it, where he's kind of hiding in a window and somebody's looking at him. If you want a full version of that as well, we can also do that. I'd be happy to. So again, you can go through, make all these micro adjustments, make them look a little more ingrained in the image. But that's the basics of it. You know, have fun with it. Yeah, and that's it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. I hope it helped you. I hope you learned something out of it. I know there's a lot of them out there like this, but I am very glad that you chose to watch mine. And expect more. I am hoping to do a lot more of these, more full tutorials. And yeah, hopefully this one sounds better than the last one, so I have to do it a third time. And if it is Halloween, happy Halloween. If it's not, I'm sorry, I couldn't get it out before the end of the month. Anyway, all right. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit, click the like button. Be a little nice to the like button. I think he gets mistreated a lot. Trying to be different here and just be like, hey, it's okay. This is awful. I am not a YouTuber. I don't really want to be one. But anyway, yeah. So share this with people. Share it on your social media. If you make something similar to mine, whether it is Captain America, whether it is a different character, great. Share it with me on my Instagram at JordanJamesB. You can follow all of my new work on there. I'd be, I'm posting a little more regular now. But yeah, thanks for watching, and peace.